We got
like
to talk
season three.
about The Last of Us, the
The Last
second
of
Suey?
Us.
episode.
Pew.
Because this one, a lot went down this time. So,
I was
Thomas, I don't
wrong.
think you care. A lot of
I was
people were wrong.
completely wrong.
A lot of people were wrong.
I've seen the
Um,
scene because it's leaked everywhere online, or not leaked, but it's like everywhere. And well, you guys can discuss it and I'll bring it up. I'm just like, that looks terrible, but go ahead.
so it starts out with the Abby again having a flashback or a dream, I don't know, a nightmare, I guess. I thought it was a pretty cool scene where she's like, she discovers her
Hmm.
dad's dead, right? I thought that was
Very
pretty neat.
anime in your own head kind of scene.
The
Yeah, talking to herself.
Yeah.
actress did a real good job in this episode. I thought she had a lot of good
Hmm.
parts. Um,
I like
and then
following Abby. She's good at
yeah,
this.
exactly.
She's character accurate to what the game was like. Whereas
uh,
Ellie's still 5 years ago for some reason. But anyway,
yeah, Ellie, we get more of
She don't
her.
age, Michael. That lady can't age.
she can mentally age as a character.
So we get more Ellie whining. She doesn't want to wake up, and the guy goes, "Is that guy from Karate Kid? Is he the bully?
No,
He's
that's not
from
the
Oh.
some.
guy.
Yeah, that's not him. I've seen that guy somewhere. Um, but yeah, he comes, wakes her up, tells her to go on
Speaking of not
patrol.
aging, I don't want to wake up. You gotta go on.
Yeah.
You gotta go to school.
I
F
got drunk and made
you.
out. Sorry, Ellie.
um, and then they go to this meeting where Joel's brother is giving a speech about how to stay safe. And the little girl's like, run into the forest. And they're like, yeah.
And
No.
he's like, "You're stupid."
Get her out of here.
Demoted. Go weeds.
um, Abby and her Firefly friends are in this cabin, really nice cabin. But it's freezing because they don't got no heat. They just got a fire. And she goes out on patrol and she's like freezing to death out there. They're looking for Joel, right? And luckily she sees him. She's like, oh. Before that, they asked her, like, what's the plan? And she's like, because they're like, well, it's a freaking city with walls. And they're like, how are we going to get in there? We don't know how. They have dogs. We didn't know they had dogs. I don't know how they saw the dogs. They're all in the cages, but somehow they saw dogs. Um, so they don't really have a plan. And she goes out on patrol, and they ask the guy, uh,
Michael's stupid.
oh man. They don't have a plan. They're making a plan. He's like, the plan is to talk her out of this. Because he's like worried about
She's
her.
gone crazy.
Yeah. She's on the mountain. She sees some people. She can't quite see them. She probably, if she had a sniper rifle, man, this episode would be done real quick, but she didn't have a sniper rifle. So she's got to kind of go down the mountain to find out who that was. Meanwhile, Ellie's with the guy. I don't remember his name. What's his name?
Jesse.
Jesse. Okay.
Jesse
He's
Pinkman.
she's with him. They're doing their patrols. A big old storm breaks out. Um, and they're like, okay, let's go to the 7-Eleven that's also a pot house. So they go in there. Um, Meanwhile, Abby's falling down the mountain. She goes real fast down one part of the mountain. So, whee! Um, and she's like sees all these dead things, and then they're like, "Oh, they're not dead things. They're like the fungus guys." And they all start like rising up out of the snow. And she's like,
I
"What the?"
guess they were just napping because,
Yeah, I
like,
think they were napping.
because it wasn't like a cold issue because it didn't get any more warm. So it's just
Well,
like,
they slightly said in the beginning that the like theory of why they were all under the dead ones is because they were insulating
Insulating.
themselves so they
Yeah,
wouldn't freeze to death or freeze to unaliveness. I don't
yeah.
know
They're
what a
already
zombie
dead.
goes through.
They're
Yeah, it's
already
like what happens. I don't know, but
Just frozen.
the fun guy don't die, I guess. A fun guy never dies. Okay, so they start waking up and they're like chasing her and she's all outrunning them somehow. um and she gets all the way to the town, right? And she gets into this walled area and there's a real cool part where she's like they're like attacking the fence and they're like the fence is coming down on her and she's like clawing across it. That was a really cool part. Um, and she gets in there, and then she's about to get attacked. And Joel saves her. He's like,
He doesn't
yeah.
get to the town. It's like a little.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't know what
it's
it
one of the
is.
side little places, like
Side
where Ellie and them
place.
went last time, somewhere around there.
Joel comes, saves her. Dina's there too. They get on the horses and they're like, "Where do we go? We gotta go back to town." And she's like,
I got a
"No."
cabin.
Yeah, she's like, "My friends are up in the cabin. They got ammo. They got all the good stuff. We need to go over there." And Joel's like, "Okay, let's go over there." They do. Meanwhile, back at the town, back at Jackson Hole, the zombies have arrived, and it's like a full scale war. It's like freaking two towers, and they're attacking the walls, and um, they got barrels of oil they're flinging at the zombies, and I don't, I don't really understand how it didn't catch them on fire, but it doesn't. It works. Um,
Do you think it smells good when they burn? Because it's like mushrooms. You know,
Like
maybe.
scented
sauteed mushrooms.
It's like, it smells like
Put
mushroom
some
coffee.
salt down there.
So there's a big old war breaks out on the wall, and they gotta, protect the wall. And then this real big one, remember the real big one? He comes and breaks down the wall, and now they're all shooting from rooftop.
Speaking of two towers, I thought for a moment he was gonna go and because there were some in the game that blow up. I was like, "Are we really gonna do the two tower scene for a second?" But that didn't happen because I
That
thought
would
it
have
was
been
gonna
awesome.
Some guys with the horn going.
So they're fighting these things, mostly focused on Joel's brother and his communist wife, and they're fighting. um,
One line I did like from the last season. No, we're not communists. We live in a commune, dear. Just that part of him, just like that Texan part of him, just kind of dies inside.
Yeah.
Just like
So they fight that battle. Meanwhile, Joel gets up to the cabin with Abby, and they're warming up. They're like, "Yeah, help her out, warm her up too." And then she's like, "So this is Dina, and this is Joel," and they all jump and they're like, they put a gun to Dina's head, and they tell Joel to like back up, and they put Dina to sleep, so she doesn't have to watch because they don't really want to kill anyone else. They just want to kill Joel. And then the big scene that probably everyone's already seen by now happens where Abby kind of tortures Joel, hits him with a golf club, punches him. She's so small, I don't know if the punches would hurt that bad.
That's why they were there for like hours. And they were like, "Dude, just end this."
Give her some knuckles.
I'm bored, Abby.
Give her some
why-
brass knuckles or something.
that's why she had to pick up the golf club. It's like, oh, thank God.
But even that breaks. That I actually respected that because I was like, that would just break. And golf clubs are pretty brittle, and it does break. And finally, Ellie and Jesse get there. Oh no, Jesse's not there. I forgot where he went back to town or something.
Yeah, he's behind her. Why is he behind her?
He arrives after her,
Late,
like when it's all
yeah.
done. I don't know why they got separated though.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Because
Ellie gets there and she hears all this like screaming and punching, and she goes in and it's Joel and she's like, ah! And they tackle Ellie. The girl tackles her to the ground, and then they're like, finish this, we're bored. And she does, and she finishes it, and Ellie screams and is like, I'm gonna kill you. And then they kick Ellie and they leave, and that's pretty much the
I
end of
thought
that.
Ellie took a big 6-foot man, 200 pounds, but she can't
Can't
take this
take that
smaller
little
dude.
bald lady.
They're military, like Joel said.
Oh man, we gotta talk a lot about that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Ends with Ellie kind of crying on top of Joel because he's dead. So this was the big episode, and I thought it was good. It just makes me not want the future of the show, but because like a lot of people expected that they would draw this out. Some people even thought this would be probably the last episode of the season because there's supposed to be a whole nother season. But yeah, so this was the part that that was controversial in the games, and everyone talked about it when it happened in the game. So it happened here.
hey, it's 2020 again. Yay.
Michael,
Oh no.
how faithful was it to what happened in the game?
Not very.
Okay.
The Abby and Joel very very faithful. That was very accurate. Like her.
She used an iron instead of a wood.
Yeah, I mean, get your clubs right. I
That's
agree with
a
you.
putter.
I think the episode was good, but just good. Like it
Yeah.
has a lot of issues, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It kind of sits exactly where this first one sat with me, which is disappointing because of what this is to me. Firstly, the entire fight with Jackson, throw it out. Utterly useless, pointless, get rid of it. In the game, Tommy is with Joel when this happens. They save Abby. That whole fence scene is pulled straight out of the game. That whole zombie chase of hers, everything. There is no zombie massive horde that goes down to the town. Forget all that. They basically save her, get her up there, and she tells about the cabin. They don't know who she is yet. Tommy's the one's like, "Hey, I'm Tommy, and this is my brother Joel." That's when everything starts. Oh crap! Everything's going down. Yeah, they freak out. Alex and I talk about this because we were talking about how we're like, how are they? Because I said last time that I was like, oh, maybe because that line that now seems pointless is where they were talking to Joel in the first episode of, well, we've got to take everyone in as refugees because blah 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 blah. I was like, oh, well, maybe Abby and her people are going to go there, and that's how we're going to draw this scene out, draw this season out, and that, like I said, I thought the end was going to be Joel dying in the end of the season. None of that happened. So introducing Abby and showing who she is prematurely, I think, ruins a lot of the tension of what the game brought. There's so much mystery in the game, and the purpose of the game in the beginning is to make you hate this group of people completely. You don't have any backstory, any reason. You don't know why they're doing what they're doing. You just hate them, and that's the point. Is for you to Ellie, like you said, she's like, I'm going to kill all of you. That's her goal now. That's the end of the rest of the season. And so now, yeah, in my mind, this is definitely going to end exactly middle of the game is where the season's going to end. Is that a hand raise?
Real fast.
We
Just
can
I
see
thought you
your
were
hand. We
stretching.
can only see your arm.
real fast. Have
Arm.
you've never seen like playthroughs of the game or the story of the games, right?
Who, me?
Or do you know the story?
You talking to Joseph?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Oh,
like,
I know. I know this. I saw the Critical Drinkers video on this, so I know kind of the story of.
you get the gist and main beats,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't.
That's a
do you
pretty
feel like
comprehensive video.
do you feel like Ellie and Joel have a strong connection? Just if you're just going off the show,
Not
do you
in
feel
this
like-
season.
Yeah, not this
or
season,
even the
but-
last season, it just doesn't feel
it-
like enough time for me. Like
Yeah,
they
it
didn't.
kind of grew in the last season towards the end, but it started rough. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't.
They had
I
that
don't-
one episode at the very end where they have a conversation. I was like, oh, that's a pretty good conversation.
Yeah.
But for the rest of it, like, I feel like they're still strangers right at this point.
There's
So-
never a part where I felt like he's her dad, like her adopted
Yeah.
dad.
Just going off the show, not the games. It's just like it doesn't feel like enough time between them has happened for me to care about.
Also,
him
Ellie looks the
dying.
exact same age as she did in the last show.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why they didn't, because Ellie in the second game has like cropped hair to here, and she has it back in like a little knot ponytail like that. Like, I was curious why they didn't do that, but because it would have helped at least change visually what she looked like, give it a little bit of a time difference. But anyway,
well,
Um,
also Abby looked like she ate protein in the second game. This looks like
I don't mind they did that because it's like to put her against Bella Ramsey, which they're going to have to do. Like that would just be weird if some giant muscly woman is.
it's this
Abby
five,
was
two,
the
it's this
child
two
girl.
5-foot women like slapping each other.
Abby was the personification of protein in the game.
She's what I dreamed to be.
Makes you question, like, it's the apocalypse. Where did you get the whey
Yeah.
protein at?
Yeah, they're like, I saw a video.
You
of-
hoarding,
where
Abby?
did- Where did she get the HGH?
Yeah, so I think definitely that this kind of annoys me. I don't know if that would be an executive decision, the Battle of Jackson, because it's like that just looked like Game of Thrones is what it looked like. It looked like
yeah.
we're doing a siege of a wall and stuff like that. I'm like, what are we?
The undead in the winter? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and the whole point, like, The Last of Us isn't this multi-kingdom focusing on the world thing. It is literally just focusing on these two right now, individual Joel and Ellie is the point of it. And so, like, I feel like there's so much weight lost in the end of this episode because there isn't this buildup of just like them two. Like that whole episode should have been them two. It should have been
Yeah.
Joel and Tommy talking about Ellie, and she's with Dina, I think, at this point, because I think they go to the 7-Eleven with the weed. Yeah, so it's them two there, and it's either that or that's after. It's been a while, but yeah,
Or maybe a
I just
scene where like he gives her the guitar back or something like that.
yeah, I can't believe that didn't happen.
And they have like a moment and then it happens, but
It was
this
just
is just
like there.
World War Z and then he dies.
Yeah, because that's literally in the game where she's I can't remember if he's playing it and she goes in, but it's like yeah. So I feel like there's so much weight loss of trying to take this big scope action scene where I'm like, that's not the point of Last of Us. Last of Us is the point of these main characters, and so
So this I'm going to ask this one. I haven't seen the first episode because again, I'm not really interested in the series anymore. But just people that I've heard of already, pacing seems to be a really big issue already in these first two episodes. Was that something like spacing out the events because they're not seeming to like to put them in like one just the right order, but also just like significant like emotionally wise? Because now we're just like, well, okay, now we understand why Abby hates Joel and which brings no tension to then uh Ellie hunting her. We're just like, well, yeah, now we know. Now we don't need to have a character development throughout the rest of the series because we've already had that at the very beginning. So would that something like be that, or would you agree to that, or what?
I don't think the pacing is off.
Because it comes pretty early in the game, right? This part.
It's I mean it's a game, so it takes a while, but it like if you're looking at the whole scope, if we're going 7 episodes, so if they do 7 more next time, 14 episodes, this would, I guess, fit around that mark. And I don't think it's just the added, it's the inconsistencies of what they're trying to do with it. It's like we have a random go off and scavenger. It's like they have this idea of where they're getting to, but there's no road leading to it. We're just skipping to the Joel part without having a path to it. There's no, like we have the therapy session with Joel and the lady from Home Alone.
That scene's even worse now, I think.
Yeah, it's like there's no point to it. Like
it's just like there to give Joel a bigger body count is what I got out of it. It's like because they mentioned that he killed her husband, he killed the pot guy. So it's like make sure he killed a lot of people so we can kill him off or something like that.
I saw one criticism of it and it made me laugh is that Joel took out the entire base of Fireflies last season but lost his 5 Gen Zers.
That was a weird part because, when he's confronting them, or when they're confronting him, and he's like, and she's like, "What do you see when you look at us?" He should have said, "Kids. I see kids."
Yeah,
I do not see
a military
guy.
That's the thing is that, in the game, they're all very threatening, and because they look like they've been living off the land like a survivors, right? But then I saw the snippets and stuff from this scene. I'm just like, they look 15, 16 years old, maybe.
Especially the medic one. I'm like, that's a child.
She looks super young.
Yeah.
I also didn't really like when Abby called him handsome. That was a little awkward. It was like,
yeah, I don't know why they added that. It's like you had the identifiers. You don't need this goofy, weird line.
What in my head was like, what were these nurses telling people that he was the sexy guy that
I know
shot this
he
guy
GQ came in here, started shooting things up. I was like, what?
That guy was freaking awesome.
When you set that guy on fire, I was like, man, he is hot.
But yeah, so I feel like it's disappointing on the whole of what it could have been, and compared to the game, it's not even holding a candle to it. Like how the game leads up to that and how it handles it. Even with, I mean, it was pretty faithful with Ellie, Abby, and Joel. There are 3 points where Ellie comes in, she is held to the ground, she has to watch him die. But it's like it just everything leading up to it just felt so jumpy. Is the only way I could describe it. I don't know. There's just so little focus on what's actually going on and what matters in the show, rather than we're just looking at random junk and giant bloaters. And we have to talk about the stupid scene where the what's the big one called? I can't even think of it right now. Bloater, yeah, I don't know. I literally just said that. I just said that. I know.
Well, I was just like, you said it though.
Whenever it comes in, and then first of all, their fire defense was the worst planned thing I've ever seen in my life. They half them ran, and then those flamethrowers. Normally, flamethrowers go 20, 30, 40 feet. They're 5 feet. I was like, what? Why is this your plan to hold a wall of 5 foot flame? But what killed me was whenever the stupid bloater, and this reminded me so much of a Rings of Power kind of scene or something. Whenever he sees Tommy's wife the bloater. He's like, "Oh, yeah, you're shooting people more than everyone else. I'm gonna come to you." And then he goes and stands in front of all these infected running past him, and he's like, "No, you follow me." I'm like, "What is this garbage? That
There
is
was
so
so
lame. Like he
many
would be
problems
bitten
with
by
this
12
scene.
people." Yeah,
There was
it's
so much
bad.
problem. Joel's brother and Joel's communist wife, or brother's communist wife, they just stand in the middle of the street and the guys ignore them. They just like run past them.
Like that is so amateur CW kind of stuff, man. Like like we just talked about Sinners. The last scene that you said you didn't like, Joseph, was another big problem with this, where he just is getting rain bullets at him, but he's just, I was like, oh, he must be far away. No, he's like right next to the car. I'm like, they're just all missing. I'm like, what is with this lazy action writing? Just because you want to have a piece happen, you got to actually think it through and not have it so unbelievable.
And
It's
then
so unbelievable.
When he runs into that alley, it's just so like a video game block off of the like. It's
Like you lived here for
Loading
about
next area.
at least 5 years. They lived there. I think he probably knows the place pretty well. And like, oh, when did these stack of boxes get here? Did I not help move these? Yeah, I don't know.
Also, the part where like he's going to like finish up Tommy off, I was like, he's burned to death. He's gonna fall over, and
Yeah.
I was like, there's no tension here.
I did not believe at all that this town survived this attack. I mean, the big thing was they unleashed dogs. Ooh.
The dogs did more than anyone.
It's fucking vicious. Oh man. So yeah, so just cut all of that out. Literally the entire fight. Take that out of the episode. It didn't need to be there. It was a waste of time. Visually cool, sure, but waste of time. But I do want to shout out the there's one thing that I really wanted to shout out. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Don't remember what it was. Anyway, but the performances of Abby, Ellie, and Joel, with Ellie being this version of Ellie, not the snarky pal around with people Ellie. Like this version, I thought she did a great job. Peter Pascal did a great job. His looks whenever he's like, because he knows what's coming, and that's very, very similar to the game where he's very quiet. He doesn't say a lot in it, and I like that so much. He's like, just get it over with. Like, I know what's coming. I've accepted it. I did what I did, and I stand by what I did. It's just it brings a lot of weight to it and everything. And then I think Caitlin Denver is the girl who plays Abby. She did a fantastic job. A couple weird lines, but that's not her fault. So yeah,
That was satisfying when Joel was like, just do it. Just
Yeah.
shut up
Like-
and do it.
he's like, yeah, because it's like his last stand moment of like, I'm going to stand, even though I'm hated by the one that I did it for, I'm going to stand on it. And I'm like, oh man, that's
Well, like Abby's
heavy.
giving like this classic villain monologue. She's like, and you know what else I'm gonna do? He's like, shut up.
Yeah.
yeah. So
I do
Oh, you
wish he had
clever
a-
dog. You got me monologuing.
I do wish he had a little more fight into him. It's just,
Or like when like Ellie comes, he gets a little fight in him somehow.
but somehow,
Yeah.
Yeah, he just, I don't know, the quietness kind of bothered me. I would be like yelling at them and stuff, like shut up, like you said. But
So-
yeah,
Okay, so I again, I didn't watch this episode. I've just seen it going around online because they're like, they killed Joel. I'm like, where have you been for the last 5 years? So, there's this one part where they did break from the game. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Is where the club breaks, and then she like stabs Joel, right?
Mhm.
I don't know who was in charge of that visual effect, but they should probably go over it again. Because when they do the stab, I swear to God, the arm kind of like disconnects from Abby's body and goes into Joel. I'm just like, no. That can't be right. And so I rewound it. I was just like, I don't think they finished this effect very well because it like the arm just goes like once, like not even a smooth motion. It's like it skipped right into Joel's neck. I was just like, that seems like a big miss on HBO's part.
It
And
did look weird because it didn't look like she went through. It just kind of
Yes.
looked like it
It's like-
stopped.
and it wasn't like, oh, like she's meeting with some resistance like when she stabs somebody. It's like sword in the stone. It just went. I'm just like, oh no, that's a bad effect, guys. Like maybe they'll fix it in post like they did Game Cup, but it didn't look good.
So there's a lot of stuff where I was like, there's some interesting ideas here that I kind of wish they went with. Like you said, I think you said, the way he rescues Abby, I'm like, what if like her team gets wiped out, so she has to kind of rely on these people, so she gets like taken into the town, but the whole time she's kind of like planning, how am I going to kill this guy when I'm alone in this town? I mean, they could have built a whole season like that. Um, you know
But it's kind
what?
of interesting.
Yeah, what if like the Fireflies? What if they were all kind of like victims of Joel somehow? They all knew someone, or all their parents got killed by him, or something like that. So, maybe that would have been more like a revenge squad or
The
something
Orphans
like.
of Joel.
Yeah. um,
I
and
do
like I
hope the
said,
next part is just from Abby's point of view, and it's just like Ellie is like a Jason like Voorhees type, just like a villain just coming after her. Just
I don't know. I don't want to watch the Ellie Revenge tour. I mean, it just
That's this
doesn't.
whole season. That's all you're getting.
It doesn't interest me at all, especially the way Ellie's portrayed in this. She's
Yeah.
just a very unlikable.
although I
person.
do hope one thing they keep from the game is the character gets punched. It is so freaking funny in that game.
Right into the garage door.
Right into the dude,
I
like
remember
an
that.
adult man, Superman punches his child into a garage door. It's the funniest thing on earth.
Now I hope they keep that. I want to see that.
It's so out of nowhere too, and like uncompromisingly violent. You're just like, whoa!
Because it's like in this dramatic scene, and then just bam, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, maybe if this. I mean, we got almost 2 seasons of the Ellie Revenge tour coming up.
Get ready for the emotions and the talking.
Do you think that they're going to do a new story in season 3, or do you think they'll
No.
finish up?
This will be
Yeah.
half of the game. They've already they've already said enough of that. This will end at half of the
This
game.
long?
You know where
I
it's
mean,
going to
there's a
end?
lot.
Crap.
There's a lot to put in here. Yeah, I know exactly where this is going to end. But there's a lot. But that's what's so weird is because the whole point of the second game is learning about Abby and her
Abby.
people, and that's the big turning point of that. Why a lot of people hate this game, and because you don't know anything about that, and so you're 100% like go, and then you hit this middle point. You're like, oh, is the game over? The game's not over. What's going on? And so and I'm just like. I don't know how they're going to do the second half or season 3. I don't understand their pacing of how that's going to work, but we'll see. But
Maybe they'll age them up with like new actors.
they just CG their heads on bigger
Yeah.
bodies and it's just rock'em sock'em robots.
Maybe Joel will get infected by fungus, like his dead body, and then he comes
Dang.
back and he's just like killing everything.
Well, that's another thing I have to bring up is like they play up this whole like infected in the sewer lines. Like
Oh yeah.
we're leaving Jackson unless we're going to stick around Jackson in like snippets of episodes, but we're leaving Jackson. That whole season or scenario's done. So what was the point of that?
That was weird then. Like I
So,
said,
like-
that town should be erased. There should
Yeah,
be nowhere there left.
So I don't know if that was just like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't get it. We'll see. But so far, it's good. Fine.
It's good, fine.
That's about it.
Fun stuff.
Good. Fine.